We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. Yeah, it's lit in the chop shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based in debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30, let's do a first take on Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, you see me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the chop shop, cause they cutting up. It's retro, coming to you live to the chop shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the chop shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the chop shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jimmy, the legend, the cheat sheet Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, broadcasting all over the world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, we have a great show in store for you today. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. You know I love your mothers. Happy birthday happy Mother's Day to you. To me, every woman on the Facebook feed or the YouTube feed, you are having Mother's Day every day to me. But Jimmy, I have been enjoying the flashback machine that have been these episodes of Last Dance. I mean, over the weeks, I've been enjoying it. We've had 2 more last night, and I think they were the 2 best episodes. We had flashbacks and we had live events last night. The UFC, Jimmy, I don't follow it, but UFC 249, I heard it was fantastic. People call me and tell me, I don't follow it. But last night in the Last Dance, it was a lot of information jammed into those 2 hours last night, Jimmy. And we got a few people that's coming on this show today. A couple of guys are coming on this show today that can. One of the guys was in the Last Dance last night. So I know we didn't advertise it like we should, but we had a little talk with him earlier today. He's fired up. But Jimmy, let's get this thing cracking. We got 5 minutes before he come on. What you got going on?
Man, first I want to give you guys some bullets on some news, and that is from this past weekend. You know, the NCAA, Mark Emmert, finally came out of hiding. When I say hiding, I mean he gave a video press conference or video statement. If you did one yesterday, you could have did one last month. You could have did one last week. You could have did one 2 months ago. So in regards to the fall sports, so it's based in a nutshell. Mark Emmert says if the schools don't reopen, then they're not going to be playing sports. Now, in some fashion, it does not mean that the colleges will have to have a full allotment of their students on campus because the student athletes are students on paper. So that's basically his statement, and they will make a decision. They expect a final decision in regards to football at the end of June or 4th of July at the latest. So look for that. That's the date that you can move the range to from when, if you will hear something about the NCAA and football. And if they do, they will. That's the thing. NFL is going to start in August with preseason. So college normally starts around Labor Day as far as their games. But I was listening earlier, Heather, to Herm Edwards on ESPN, and Herm mentioned that he was like in his program, and he's speaking on behalf of a lot of his colleagues, they need somewhere in the range of about 4 to 6 weeks with their players. So now, think about what that means. If you're not making a decision till June, 1st of July, then they have to make that means that decision will give the colleges for football roughly about a month and a half to get it on, as far as getting those kids on campus and starting everything together. And think about how out of shape some people may very well be. That means the risk of injuries should increase.
Jimmy, I don't think these guys are as out of shape as people think they are. But in football, you need a certain amount of time. These guys are in shape, but they're just not in football shape. And you need a certain, because it's just so easy to get injured, and they have to be prepared. But and Jimmy, I do want to say shout out to Todd Holmes, Rod Wells, Melvin Dews, Tyandra Holmes, and Yolanda Green. Those were the first 5 people that they were our starting 5 that logged on to Facebook or YouTube simultaneously. Shout out to that. That's my starting 5 today. And what else you got?
And also, speaking of NCAA news, we have, think about that, Kansas is in the news. Kansas finally received their reply from the NCAA after their notice of allegations that were tendered a couple of months back. A 92-page reply from the NCAA, and they basically described the Kansas alleged violations as egregious and severe. And remember, these are level 5, level 1 violations. Level 1 that's like a 3rd-degree felony. Level 1 is the worst infraction that you can commit as a college or program and or a coach. There are 5 level 1s, and I think I want to say 2 level 2s that are tacked on against the University of Kansas. Now, of course,
what about Duke? We talking about Kansas. What about Duke?
Hey, speaking of Duke, did you hear about? I mean, you see Zion. We talked about the Zion situation, Hannah, before last year when it came up about his former. What's the lady named Gina? Yeah. We talked about her, and
Gina Ford.
And in a nutshell, we got our guest coming on about to join us in 1 minute. But Hannah, just give them. You did it before. Give them a good 40-second synopsis of what's going on this Gina and for the contract.
And from what I can see, Gina Ford and her agency had a relationship with Zion Williamson and her parent, her mom, and the father and the stepdad. Okay, and I think personally some gifts have been given. I remember they was telling me about how big the house that Zion mom and them was staying down there in Chapel, Durham. So it's just a lot of stuff that happened. And when Zion got ready to go pro, he left Gina and went to CAA. CAA represents Coach K. So maybe Coach K, see, I had to find out CAA is cool with Coach K. So the guy left Gina all the stuff Gina did for me, and these players do it all the time. And our next guest gonna tell you about it. They they get they get they get money from you in the beginning, and then they see a prettier girl on the block. They're gonna go to the prettier girl and left that lady holding the bag. And it's wrong, Zion. If your mama and your stepdaddy did it, it's wrong. Pay that lady or make them have a joint venture. But you can't do, if she's taking care of you, don't do it like that. But I know I went over 45 seconds, but we got a guest. Yeah, let me tell you something, Jimmy. Jimmy, you usually introduce the guest. But this guest right here, we've been through the trenches. Hey, I love this guy. I always love him because he took my young fella, Penny Hardaway, and showed him the basketball, the professional. You know, it's a game you play on the court, but Nick Anderson took Penny under his wing off the court. He was one of the few guys that went everywhere we went. It was me, Penny, Nick's crew, Penny's crew. We did everything together. And I thank him so much for help guiding my little young fella and you know, putting him in a position to be as successful as he was. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce y'all to Nick Anderson in the building. Nick, hold on. Let me give you your applause. We gave you some applause. What's up, big fella? What's going on?
What's going on? I caught the tail end of the Zion Williamson saga.
Okay.
From my understanding, were you saying there was a lady that did multiple things for Zion and his family? Yeah. Did she happen to be an agent at the time, or just someone, a family friend?
She owned a marketing company.
Right.
She wanted to do his marketing.
Okay.
You follow me? And she didn't want to be his agent. She wanted to be his marketer. The marketing get more, it's more lucrative.
Right, of course. But and to a guy of his stature, I'm pretty sure you know as well as I know that the endorsement's gonna come in.
Yes.
They're gonna come in.
Yes.
But I've been hearing little bits and pieces. I don't know any facts or fiction about anything.
Right.
Like I said, I'm just catching the tail end of it.
Yeah.
And I heard you say at the end there, about the house and whatever. Yeah. It's only right. If that took place, it's only right. Do something. If it's just a little something.
Yeah.
Just a little something. You can come to, this doesn't have to be drawn out in the public. It doesn't have to be.
Thank you.
It doesn't have to be.
It's too late now.
Oh, it's too late now.
Yeah, but it's out there, but you can have some closure behind closed doors. You don't have to give all the media attention, what people asking of what did you guys decide on? That's not something that you have to do. You guys can come to a decision behind closed doors, and that could be the end of it.
Yeah, but the genie's out the bottle now. And you know what, man? You know, because I know a little bit about it, Nick, CAA came in there, man, and said, man, forget her, man.
The big dog bite the little dog.
Yes. Yeah. And let me tell you something, man. Zion, his mama, somebody got to step up and say, hold up, Miss Ford helped us out. Yeah. Miss Ford helped us out. Let's give her some points. Let's figure out a way to make this thing. Because, see, Miss Ford, you know she's suing him for $100 million.
Because she want to get something.
Yes. She's suing. Yeah. Go on. What you got, Jimmy?
But get this. This just like the lady that live on the block that when mom and dad was at work, if you got out of line, she took care of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was sort of, hey, I'm going to take care of you until mom and dad is able, you know?
Right. But you know what, though? Gina knew what she was doing now. Don't get it twisted. Me knowing Gina, she done did that before now. I kind of know a little bit about her. She knew what she was doing. It was a business deal. She
Exactly.
wasn't the neighborhood mama, Jimmy, talking about, well, I was going to, no, I'm taking care, y'all. We got a marketing agreement, and then soon as the 11th hour, you want to change.
Yeah.
Nah, that ain't, no,
Now,
that ain't
see,
right.
here's the deal. Now, isn't Zion suing her as well? So now
Oh,
you got this.
oh,
Yeah,
Yes. So now
countersuit.
you got this battle, this tug of war to see who's going to give in first.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what that's all about.
Okay. What you got, Jimmy?
well, you know,
Uh-huh.
this move that Gina Ford is the name, and the company's Prime Sports. The move that she made basically is a motion for discovery that she's sending to them, and it's a really tactical position because in doing so, she filed the documents last week, and basically when they send that motion to discovery, I'm by no means a lawyer, guys, so I'm paraphrasing and from the report. Well, they're asking some questions. They submit to the attorney of Zion. In these questions are simple questions, such as, what was your address and the parents' address when you attended Duke? You see? So you see where this is going. So that means, what was your registered address of the parents because they moved to Durham, right outside of Durham, right? So the question also was, another question is, did you what you have to I'm trying to paraphrase it really. Basically, they accused, did you demand or receive gifts, money, and or other benefits from persons acting on behalf of Adidas? Same question, and replace Adidas with Nike, right? Or to wear those said shoes and during the games or during that time. So these questions lead up. See what they do. You have to answer simply yes or no. So that means if you and this is, so you see where they're going. She's going.
Of course, I see where they're going. It's like, okay, they asking these questions because they already have the answer.
Oh, of course. Bingo.
Answer. So that's just like sitting in front of, just like when the feds come to you,
They already know.
They got everything they need.
Yeah.
Either you gonna you gonna tell us what we want. No. Dancing around it.
Well, and here's the thing about this that makes it really, really messy. This is why she as you asked earlier, Nick, she was his marketing. She had a marketing agreement with him. And what the reason that Zion is countersuing is because in the state of North Carolina at the time, she was not a registered agent. I mean, she was not registered with the Players Association, put it like that, in order to represent him. Well, her thing was, I didn't sign an agent deal with him. I signed a marketing deal. So anyway, that's the kind of like the beef as the gray area where it's going to be really intriguing on how to treat this.
But correct me if I'm wrong, because I've been away for a long time. I don't know what's in the agreement with the Players Association. Mm-hmm. Do you have to register to be? I know you have to be registered to be an agent, but
no.
Do you have to also be registered?
No.
As to
be a marketing person?
No.
Okay. They are not governed under those rules.
Okay, well there it is.
So that's where the thing is, and then so now all of this stuff has came out, and you know how black folk is now. You started now. You hit below the belt with this stuff. Yeah. So now that means expect more dirt to come from the other side.
Exactly.
As the this and that, and so now also the.
I got a couple of more things for you, Jimmy. These are kind of inside stuff that wouldn't be in they wouldn't be in the newspaper, right? This wouldn't be in the paper. This wouldn't be in the article. But okay, his dad. Hold on. They were not going to sign with an agent in the beginning, right? His dad had a friend or a teammate that was a former agent, and he was walking him through the process. Jimmy, you remember that, man? Because I think y'all remember that, man. Now check this out. Until CAA brought that Jordan deal to the table, that's when they tried to say, okay, forget Miss Ford. I'm going over here with this Jordan deal. And CAA now, Nick, they wouldn't work with him until he agreed that they'd be his marketing agent also. So they had to find a lady. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the deal. As big as the number one pick, name is in the skylights.
Yeah.
Young fella, you have the strength enough to say, well, listen, in order for me to sign with you guys, Miss Ford needs to be somewhere in there.
I totally agree.
That's the player way to do the thing.
That's the player way to do it. You're right.
But
there were many agencies out there that probably was in a hot pursuit of Zion Williamson. Big agencies. Everybody. He could have easily said, look, I need to take Miss Ford along with me because Miss Ford has been very, very good, not only to me, but my family.
That's a good
one. You know what? A similar move transpired in the hip hop community last year when one of the up and coming stars, well, she's a mega star now, and that's Megan Thee Stallion. Her manager at the time was a guy named Carl Crawford who played for the Dodgers. Played the baseball star, $190 million deal he signed, and he was managing her. And then she went and signed. We got another deal, of course, and Rap-A-Lot came in and helped with a certain other type of deal. But then with the deal that she did with Roc Nation, it was like you had to bring this in, and they same thing. They're trying to block it off. But when she went to Rap-A-Lot, they allowed Carl Crawford to still keep his post. Come on, we got to take care of him too. You know, because you need a little bit more muscle because they're about to try to take over. So Carl was going to lose her to the Roc Nation anyway. He was going to lose her probably. So he went and called on the homies, and so similar stuff, but they did not do it like that. Now it's going to be a big mess, and the timing could not be more.
My thing is, inviting. We can all eat at the table if we just come to the table with our knife, fork, and spoon, man. We can all eat, man. It just, some want more than others.
And Jimmy, and it's so crazy, Jimmy. I saw something this morning. They were just talking about, it's a very important point they told me to talk. They said Zion Williamson could still be considered a student athlete even after declaring for the draft. The new NCAA testing the water rules gave him to change his mind until the 5/29. What's that? May 29. If he's satisfied the conditions below. So let me tell you something. So payment by agent could still be a problem. Let me tell you something. This little boy, this is a hot mess, man, Nick.
Yeah, no question.
I'm getting so much stuff. I mean, it's a hot mess. That's all I can tell you. It's a hot mess.
Let's see how that ends and keep you guys posted on that. Now, of course, you guys looking right now, one of the viewers in the Boom Boom Room, they say, man, I thought that was Earl Campbell on the Top Shot. I said, no, he don't make link sausages right now. And so that is indeed Nick Anderson, guys, former Illinois star, and of course, up from the Orlando Magic back in the days. Now, Nick, I know you have been watching, or probably have been watching, some of The Last Dance.
Oh, no question.
And what give us your thoughts after this weekend show? What stuck out to you about the 2 episodes this past weekend?
Well, the episodes have been great. I mean, people are really, tuning in to things about MJ that me and Hat knew years ago.
Yeah, right.
I lived this with MJ. I knew what type of guy he was, and I knew he was a no-nonsense guy. Yeah. He's the guy that, when he comes to work, he was that guy that he laced him up tight and He had his hard hat and his work boots on, man. He was ready to get it. And he wanted everybody on board. So it's none of that is new to me. I respect it because, you know, if you call yourself going into the trenches, you want somebody that got your back. And all on board. If you on board, get on board. If you ain't, pack your bags and keep it moving, player.
And you know what I got? Go on, Jim. Go.
Was MJ a bully?
I wouldn't say he's I don't think it as a bully. I'm a Chicago kid, man.
Yeah.
And ain't too much you can come across me and talking about no bullying. I don't look at none of that as bullying.
Right.
Not at all. Not at all. Can you handle the heat? If you can't handle the heat, man, get out the kitchen. Quit.
But you know what?
Babysitting.
This society now, though, Nick, they just don't. This society now, you know what I thought about though. The coolest part of last night to me, right, is when Mike there sitting in that room, right, with the stogie in his hand, with the bat, talking about the Hornets. Like he was watching a mob movie. Like you remember, I don't know if y'all remember The Untouchables. when Robert De Niro, he was playing Al Capone. You know, he got his little speech and talked around his boys, and he wound up beating one of the guys in the head. Go watch The Untouchables. I mean, I got it, y'all. Y'all got to understand this how intense he was to a dude who played on his team. Nick. And I'm going to try to play it.
All that trash talking starts when it's 0-0 instead of 5-6 point lead. That's where it starts. That's the sign of a good man. If you can talk shit when it's even score, or talk shit when you're behind score. When you're ahead, it's easy to talk.
Hey, that dude was so serious, man. And let me tell you something. I got a chance to see a part of Michael. Man, Michael broke down and cried.
Yeah, that's a part that, you know, a lot of people didn't get a chance. You never knew that about him.
Right.
You know, you would think from watching this, you know, where's the sensitive side to MJ? But there was.
Right.
But you just said something there. Uh-huh. If he was that way in practice, could you imagine how he was on the floor? Game time. But what they say, the way you practice is the way you play.
Jim, I got to tell this story, Nick. I wasn't going to tell it until you came on the show. I never forget, you know, because me and his sister Roz are great friends, right? I'm in the tunnel. You know how they walk through the tunnel? You know, everybody, you couldn't be in that tunnel. You know, when Mike come out, you couldn't be in that side. And I'm standing up there. The first thing this man came and asked, who is that ninja? He didn't say ninja. Who is that ninja? Right there. And I mean, he was just, he didn't care. And but Nick, I'm gonna tell you some unique thing I saw about when you poke that ball. I was at the game. When you hit that ball from behind and Penny stole that ball, all of our lives changed at that moment. Tell me about that moment right there.
That's game one of the Eastern Conference.
The game one, I remember the play just like it happened yesterday. Uh-huh. You know, when they inbound the ball and I was in front of him and I got a hand on it, uh-huh, and he got around me.
Right.
And he was going down the right side of the court. He was dribbling the ball in his right hand, but he looked to see where I was behind him, but he looked over his left shoulder. And I was coming up on the right side of him, and I poked it away with my left hand. When I got a hand on it, I poked it to Penny, and Penny got it. And MJ went sliding on the floor, and I stepped over him, and Penny and Horace was in a 2-on-1 transition play against Tony Kukoc. Penny made the nice little bounce pass, and Horace went up with a strong finish in case he could have got, if he would have got fouled. It was a strong move. He would have been at the free throw for two free throws. He went up, dunked the ball. It was a great play. Now, I love the play. Don't get me wrong, guys. But I honestly think if that play hadn't happened against MJ, it would just been another play.
Right.
I really feel that way.
Now I have a question. As far and we want to give you a chance to provide some basketball X's and O's or some intel to a lot of the people out there watching, maybe some young people that play. Okay, you mentioned that you poked the ball with your left hand, and you were coming from behind on that play, talking about Game 1, Eastern Conference Finals, 1988, Orlando Magic versus Chicago Bulls. You poked it away from he looked over his left shoulder when you were coming up on his right side, poked it with your left hand. And what's the difference if you would have poked it with your right hand? What probably would have happened?
What probably would have happened, if I would have reached in with my right hand, I would have went over the top of his arm.
Right.
Over the top trying to hit the ball. But I had, being in my left hand, I had an opportunity to like pat the ball, to scoot the ball away, like you rolling a basketball or something, rolling the ball. I had the opportunity to catch the ball on his upward dribble. And I got a good hand on it, and it was a clean swipe right into Penny's hand.
And of course, we know, I mean, and the rest, of course, you guys, during that conference, was it a lot of smack talking from MJ in that series?
Well, MJ talk anytime. I mean, when he come on the floor, he come to ready to play. You ready to play? And it was good talking. Let's go. Let's go at it. That's the type of guy he was, man.
Right.
He was a competitor, you know. He said, let's go out and play. Let's go at it. That was just him. I call him 48 minutes of hell. That was my personal name for him, 48 minutes of hell, because that's what he gave you on both ends of the floor.
Now, Horace Grant was your teammate during that remarkable.
They hated Horace.
Oh, you did?
They did.
He said they did.
Man.
Why, man? You mean the Bulls, or they mean your teammates?
The Bulls and the Chicago fans hated Horace because he left and came to Orlando. I don't know what circumstances, what took place for him to leave after winning championships with the Bulls. But him being a Magic fan, when we went back to play in Chicago, Horace was hearing it.
How bad did Horace want to beat them?
Oh, my goodness, man. That was Horace. Hey, I feel this way. Like when I got traded to Sacramento, coming back to Orlando, and any player that says this, I don't care what sport he or she is playing, if you leave one team and you come back, you've been with a team for so long, you want to win so bad. It's in the back of your mind. Your teammates know how bad you want to win. It's like when I came back to play Orlando, when I was in Sacramento, I wanted it so bad. So if Horace or anybody else tell you they didn't want it, you have to question, really? You didn't, it was just another game to you. No, it's just not another game.
Hey, Nick, we got this unique platform where on YouTube and Facebook Live, this thing is broadcast all over the world, both right now, right? So Lionel Garth said, Nick, can you explain to Hatter that Isiah was blackballed from the Dream Team because he followed them white boys off the floor and didn't shake Jordan's hand?
Well, they went for 3 white boys on the team of Detroit then.
Hey, I grew up under Zeke in Chicago. Zeke was one of my mentors.
Right.
He's one of my mentors, and I have the utmost respect for him. But me personally, I'm just speaking of me. Just like when the Rockets stuck it to us.
Right.
When they beat us.
Right.
There's no way in hell that I wouldn't know. I just would have walked away and not shook Robert Horry, Akeem,
Sam,
Mario Elie, Sam Cassell, all those guys. I just couldn't do it because, hey, the better team won.
Hey, Nick.
Regardless of how it went down. I couldn't have done that. And then that is something, what they say, things you do today can follow you for a lifetime.
Yeah.
That's something that followed him, and that's something that a lot of people did not forget.
And Nick, I'm going to tell you a story that I haven't told. Don't too many people know this, but I think me, Robert Horry, and Sam, when they was almost, when they had beat y'all, they was up by two or three games. I went to both of us hotel room and said, man, y'all got to let me win one game. I did. I did. Man, they cussed me out and put me out the room. I said, dude, I said, man, y'all got to you got to understand, I was kind of selfish in that because I wanted Penny to win because we had a deal in the Nike contract. If he win, certain things happen. We had incentives. So I called myself talking to my boys, said, man, let them win a couple of games. Man, they cussed me. I ain't going to tell you what they told me. Both of them said
I could imagine what they told you.
They said, man, if you don't get guess what? It's safe to say I didn't stay at their hotel that long that night.
But back to the original, you know, I felt funny for Isaiah. I thought he should have made the Olympic team. We all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But think about it. Mm-hmm. If he would have been on that Olympic team, you possibly could have had Jordan would have declined his invitation. Pip would have declined his invitation. You never know what was behind the scenes. All we could do is speculate and wonder.
Do you really think that's how it would have went down? If they would have announced that Zeke was part of the dream team, that MJ would have said, thanks, man, but I'm out.
Me personally, this is my own personal opinion. I don't think he would have played.
No.
And Jim, I don't think he would have played.
And Nick, this is what people don't bring up as much. See, Lionel Guard, this is what people don't bring up. And let me give you a history lesson. Chuck Daly was the coach of the team.
Exactly.
And he didn't lobby for him. He was lobbying for Joe Dumars, I find out behind the scenes, because of the defensive. He wanted another defensive player. Let me tell y'all something. Jimmy, you know this. The USA teams, anytime you got a USA team, they always talk about what? Fit. We got one of the most talented young men in the country, in this city right here, Nick, and his name Bryce Griggs. And he has not been, point guard, has not been invited to the USA Olympic team. And there's no way the trials. And there's no way these guys are better than him. So they always, when I talk to the people, guess what they talking about? Fit. How the hell are you going to fit and you ain't seen him play? You don't even know the kid. But in Isaiah's case, in international competition, where these guys got to go to strange countries and be housed together for months, fit means a whole lot.
It's just not what's on the floor, what people have to understand. It's away from the floor too.
Yes.
See, a lot of these young men and young ladies today that's playing sports, if you have a bad relationship away from the game with one another, it's gonna somehow trickle onto that floor or that football field or someone. Okay, you got two guys on you and you take the shot and this guy was wide open in a crucial moment. Just because y'all had a differences somewhere, didn't pass the ball to possibly that open guy to take that shot and win the game. Right. It's the little thing. It really is. They don't understand when you hear a coach say the little things become big things.
And Jimmy, somebody asked a question a long time ago, Nick. They were just asking about, you played on a team with some dudes. You played with Penny, Shaq, Horace, and just how was it like playing with those guys? I think Melvin Dews asked that question. Somebody.
Well, get this. Before there was Penny, there was Shaq. Mm-hmm. See, I averaged 20 points a game or whatever. Look.
Say it with your chest, then.
He did. He was that dude. He was the dude when we got there.
But to my point, to what we just talked about, we got Dennis, good outside shooter that could score the ball. Yeah. Shaq comes in. Penny comes in. I still know that I can score the ball, but I like to play defense too. So that's what I talk about, being a two-way player. I guarded the MJs, the Reggie Millers, the Clyde Drexlers, all those guys. Yeah. And I still average 15 and a half, 16 points a game on a team that was damn good. I didn't mind taking a back seat to a Shaq, a Penny.
Right.
Who gives a damn? Because when Shaq, a Penny win, I win. When Shaq, a Penny lose, I lose.
Right.
That's how you become a team. It's never, with my eyes, it's never I need this, I need that. And I believe doing that time with I'm saying I played with 2 perennial all-stars, man. And then you bring in Horace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, what more can you ask for?
Yeah. I love
We were
that
like
team.
the young Beatles version. Wherever we went, we was getting all this attention. Man, I enjoyed every moment of playing with Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway, Horace Grant, Dennis Scott. There's not a time. There might have been little rifts, but I sure in the hell wasn't gonna take it to no media. That's not my style. That's like, hey, and that's one thing I do not do, kiss and tell.
You know what's so funny, Nick? Y'all used to ride on a private plane before everybody else had their own private plane.
Exactly. Mr. DeVos, our owner at the time, whatever we needed, he provided for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
DeVos provided for, we need a new practice facility. He builds a $50 million practice facility.
Yeah.
We needed that plane that you just mentioned.
Uh-huh.
He provided all that. And when we went to the finals, when we in Houston, you could attest to this. Remember, he rented out the Ritz-Carlton, all the floors
Yeah.
for our family members and everybody.
Yeah.
Whatever the DeVos family, whatever we asked for, they provided.
See, I had a room.
Well,
I had a free room in my own city.
Yeah.
I'm down with him, but I just can't. The stuff that's a whole nother topic. The stuff his wife did last week, that ain't good about Title IX.
Yeah,
And
that's
a whole nother
Jimmy.
topic.
She don't know no better. Jimmy.
But I want to ask you something, Nick. And you mentioned earlier, you said some things that you do in life can follow you. The things that you do will follow you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So with that statement, I want to ask you, how long did it take for you to really get over the missing the 4 free throws with the Rockets against the Rockets?
Jimmy, I get asked that question. It still haunts me today. And I'll be totally honest. It's something that, I think about all the time. And if you watch, we were leading. If you watch the games, we were beating the Rockets.
Oh no, you said that with some emphasis, like you would.
Yeah, we was.
I was mad as hell
beating
too. Keep going.
It was. We were playing a good game. We were up back and forth. We were beating them. And to answer your question, Jimmy, man, I'm gonna stick my chest out on this.
Right. Okay.
I still think about it today, and I'm 52 years old.
Wow.
But Jimmy,
it's something that.
Hold on, let me
It's
tell
something
y'all
that
a
I
secret.
think about.
No, let me tell y'all a secret that Nick ain't telling him. Let me tell you something. He mad about them free throws, but if you went back home to see that mansion he was going back home to, and how he was living, it made things, Jimmy, just a little bit behind them gates. It made things just a little bit easier for you.
Okay, Jimmy, let me answer that question a little further.
Mm-hmm.
To what Bobby, what Hat just said. Look, when after I step away from the court, man, I think about where I come from to where I am that day in that position. I won, Jimmy. I won. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I fought. I won. I won that battle, man. Yeah, did it haunt me? Do it still? Yes. But I put my mind to something to be better than I was the day before. So
Okay.
in that regards, I say I won, man.
Yeah.
You could talk about Nick Anderson. Oh, Nick Anderson missed 4 free throws against the Houston Rockets. You could talk about that all you want to. You could say it to me in my face. You could say it to me behind my back, but When it all adds up, Jimmy,
You won.
I won, man,
Yes, sir.
because I won.
Now,
I
speaking
won
of,
no matter how you want to add it up, subtract it, or divide it.
and I feel you. And now hearing you talk now and mention and see, sometimes it's not the question, but it's how you can reply or response to the question that provides a totally different degree of understanding. And that's what they're doing right there in the Boom Boom Room on our YouTube page as well as our Facebook. And we're going to ask you guys watching on Facebook, take out the time to share the show right now. If you hadn't done so yet, share the show to your timelines and your friends. And also on the YouTube, give it a thumbs up if you haven't done so yet. Give us a thumbs up. You guys, this is a great conversation with Nick Anderson. Nick, I want to ask you something.
And before you go there, Jimmy.
And I see you on your chest.
Okay.
On your chest.
That's right.
Active Faith.
Hey.
The founder of Active Faith is a Houstonian, Lanny
Right.
Smith.
Right.
What's your relationship with Lanny Smith and Active Faith?
I haven't met him before, but after a game, we played Golden State, and I went up to Steph because I know Steph is involved heavily in it.
Yes.
And I said, Steph, look, man, I love the gear. I order it all the time.
Wow.
And actually, on the back of my shirt, it say, God has my back. I wear Active Faith all the time. I have people in the street saying, where can I find that? I said, you can go on online and find it. I said, Steph Curry has a lot to do with it.
Right.
I didn't know about the gentleman that you just mentioned, but I would love to connect with him in some fashion because this is where I'm at.
I'll hook it up for you.
This is where I'm at. I love it.
Done deal.
It's 100.
Done deal.
That is awesome. And Lanny Smith came out of Houston. He played for University of Houston and then chased a couple of knee injuries. And without the knee injuries, it is in all likelihood that Lanny probably would have stuck on the roster because he's a definite locker room guy. And he's a great guy.
Look at this. And I tell young men and women, the NBA and Major League Sports are not for everybody. But look what Lanny is now.
All right. Speaking of Lanny,
he popped on the screen.
And so I didn't even text him or nothing. I didn't text him. He just on watching. So he said, yo, he just gave a shout out to you, Nick. And he's actually
Lanny,
show.
Let him know I wear a 3X, baby, and I welcome it all.
Nick, what is you doing with a 3X, man? You ain't that big.
You know, I like my stuff baggy, man.
Okay.
I still got that basketball mentality now.
Hey, look at me. I'm kind of mine on tight today.
Now I don't.
Yours on tight everything.
I don't want the muscle fit yet, baby.
And of course now I just want to ask you. Somebody asked a question in the Boom Boom Room, and I'm gonna get to it. It was a while ago, and they asked you, do you think that the Houston Rockets would have beaten? That the Bulls would have won those 2 years that the Rockets won had MJ not left?
I knew that question was coming up because I hear it all the time. I think it would have been a great series. Just put it like that. I think because think of this. MJ and Scotty is MJ and Scotty. But you look at what the Rockets had to offer. Sam Cassell is my dude. Yeah. I mean, crafty. You had Mario Elie, defensive minded, can shoot the outside shot. You had Big Shot Bob. You had where the problem was going to be for the Bulls, in my opinion, is Akeem in the middle. Checking Akeem. You had Bill Wennington and who else was there?
Mike Steen.
It's been that long.
Mike Steen.
Will Purdue, those guys in the middle. That's where the problem was going to lie right there. Who's going to check Akeem Olajuwon? But look at the scoring and Drexler, and Drexler and MJ going at it, and then I think Robert Horry and Pip. But it was going to be very interesting from every other position on the floor because the Rockets was extremely talented.
Yes, sir.
Extremely talented. And I love Rudy Tomjanovich, man. He's in what I call a player's coach. Yeah. You play within the offense and defensive schemes, and you're going to be on the floor. I just love them as a coach.
I got one for you, Nick, from Melvin Dews again. He said, ask Nick, at their best, barring no injuries, start one and bench one, cut one or cut one. Isaiah, Magic, and Penny.
Man, hey, that's one of the toughest questions that anybody can answer. I don't care how much b-ball you got in your system.
Right.
That's a tough question. And you mentioned Penny earlier. Uh-huh. Penny was that little brother that I always wanted that I never had, man.
Oh yeah.
And you know how much me and Penny, because you was right there, how we traveled together, how we did things. When we go on the road, Penny drop his bags, NA, let's go get something to eat, let's go to the mall. Even at home, Penny would call me, NA, let's go hang out. That was my dude, man.
Yeah.
That was my dude. And I tell my sons to this day, y'all just don't know if Penny Hardaway would never gotten hurt. Man, that was Magic Johnson, Scottie Pippen, amongst with other mixture of guys all wrapped in one. He was athletic, had 6'7" and a half, had a 42-inch vertical, had them MJ hands.
Yeah.
Just that Magic Johnson passing, he was all that and some.
Yeah,
he was all that, man. And I still think today, what if?
Yeah.
I think about what if that team that we had would have stayed together. What if?
And that's the biggest what if. And
I got two words, Jimmy. Jerry West.
Whose fault was?
Huh?
Whose fault it was?
Yeah. For that team being dissolved. Who was the first line of fault for that team of the players? I understand you gotta get your bread, but who's at fault first?
Well, back then young guys had egos.
Yeah.
It was egos. I had an ego. Dennis Scott had an ego. Shaq had an ego. Penny. And I just say this, Jimmy. I'm not gonna go out on the limb and just call out a guy, because if I can't talk to you in front of your face, I'm not gonna talk to you about you behind your back.
Right.
Egos played a role in our team being broken up.
Yes.
Well, and of course we got a minute left. Adam, you had a question you want to put?
No, man. I mean, I can talk to him anytime.
I got one on that team, Orlando Magic. We know that Michael Jordan. We know he was the hustler on the team. Who was the hustler in the same sense for that Orlando Magic team? Who was the guy that normally won all the money in the card games in whatever you pitch into?
Hey, I can Brian Shaw.
Really? B. Shaw.
Yeah.
B. Shaw.
Yeah.
B. Shaw.
Yes.
I can remember a trip home from LA. We were playing Tonk on the plane, and when we landed in Orlando, you had guys like, "Hey man, loan me $100 till I get home, till we get to practice." B. Shaw had everything in his bag, taking it home. B. Shaw was that dude.
Wow.
B. Shaw. Hey, before we go.
Okay, come on.
I have to say something about B. Shaw.
Okay.
And little do people know, B. Shaw was the one that kept us organized on the floor and away from the floor.
Right.
Because he had that veteran leadership. He played under McHale, Bird, and Parrish and all that. B. Shaw was that dude. He was a hell of a teammate as well as a person.
That's why he's such a good coach, ending the man in the coaching race right now.
Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Hey, man, we definitely appreciate it. I mean, that was a great. Damn. I mean, dude, the Chop Shop, the time goes by so fast. And we got to get you back in because we didn't even get the dog.
I'm here, man. I'm here. Y'all know my number. Y'all dial my number anytime.
Yeah, we got to talk about the season. We got to talk about what's your thoughts and what you're hearing with we need to get your thoughts on the Adam Silver's comments and the conference this past weekend. Are you still actively involved with the Players Association?
Well, I get little bits and pieces, but I'm still in the front office of the team. So
Yeah, he worked for the Magic.
Oh, we got. Hey,
14 years in.
book Nick for next week, and we'll get him back with the date. That way, hey, we got to get you. Listen, we got to get you. We part of your. We helping with your marketing. We're not gonna get like old girl. We helping you get out there.
I appreciate that. Now, before we go, I have to say this. Everybody, especially these young men and women today who have been watching The Last Dance. Now y'all realize how much of a dog Michael Jordan was. You see where he got his killer instinct from. That's how he became who he is today. I appreciate Michael Jordan and how he approached the game and how he approached anything. I don't have a problem with it.
Right.
Winners, look at Kobe Bryant, God bless his soul. He modeled himself after MJ.
Yeah.
So I say to all these young
whippersnappers,
what we call whippersnappers out here, man, lace your sneakers up tight, man, and quit crying and bring the noise.
Okay. I like that, Nick.
We see you next week. We're going to definitely man, appreciate everything. How to make sure you connect Lanny Smith,
I got it.
Active Faith, and Nick Anderson up.
I got
man,
it.
so much for coming in chopping up with us on the chop.
Y'all know I got love for Houston.
Hey, yes, you do. Hey,
you do. All your places and close down.
Hold up, Nick, push the red button when you get off. Push the red button because I know I got to tell you so you can disappear off the screen. Okay.
Okay.
All right, baby. I'll see you later.
All right.
Okay.
And man, that is definitely Nick Anderson, man. Great convo. I love the reply, the response when he posed this question about him and those 4 consecutive free throw misses against the Rockets, which pretty much cost the Orlando Magic that first game. And understand, he acknowledged he's never got over it. And that's how the competitive players are. But at the same time, he provide understanding as to how he it's changed his life for the better.
But Jimmy, you talking about the Orlando Magic. It cost me. So let me tell you something. It was personal. I'm telling you, boy, oh my goodness. But guess what, Jimmy? It don't stop. Because guess what we got? Guess who we got in the dressing room right now? He back there putting on his makeup. And he
don't want no makeup, man.
Yeah. Oh, no. He got to put come on, man. He's a star. Stars had to put up on. Jimmy, when you go on national TV, they put a little powder on you because the bright lights, they don't want you shining, Jimmy. See, like I'm shining right here. But I'll let you introduce the next guest.
Oh, man, absolutely, man. We have a young man, former McNeese star, also played in the NBA for 4 years, I think, with the Rockets, the Lakers, and I want to say the third team. I can't remember the third team he played with.
I played with Cleveland and New Orleans.
Cleveland, New Orleans, the Lakers, and the Rockets. Those 4 teams. And he was a retired NBA player who's definitely one of, and also came and starred in the Pro-Am League down in Houston a few years. And is very, very active, and a lot of people around the Great Houston area know him and has known him. And if you don't follow him on social media, then I invite you to do so because he's one of the most humorous and one of the most, the most active smack talkers of all of the retired NBA players that are out there. And this guy here does not shy away from it. With us right now, T.R. Brown. What's going on? Welcome to the Chop Chop.
What's up, big fella?
What's up, Jim? What's up, Hat? What's going on?
What's going down, man? What's going on, baby? What's going on? Hey, get right into it.
Oh.
The Last Dance, first of all. Last Dance.
No, Jimmy, hold up. Before you go there, I've been seeing some people up here on the Facebook feed talking about the Last Dance. Is it too much? Is it T.R. Brown, I know you're going to address that. So I just want to, is that too much? Is they talking about Mike Jordan them too much? Is they talking about the Bulls so much? Could you explain to them people how important of an era that was to basketball?
What the hell else they got to watch? Well, I mean, what they want to do though? I don't get it. What else they got to do?
I don't know.
There's nothing else. It's the perfect time for the Last Dance. There's no better time than right now. But I don't. I mean, you know, there's always gonna be somebody complaining.
That's right. You're right. You're right.
You can't please everybody, but man, that Last Dance, that's some great stuff. That's great TV.
Yeah.
I got a question. You being from Louisiana, if you're on the team with the Bulls and Michael Jordan tells the flight attendant, the stewardess at the time, yo, that little old dude back there, don't even give him his plate. He ain't plate worth a damn today. Don't even feed him.
Well, she ain't gotta give me my damn plate. I go get my own plate.
Nah.
I'm gonna eat though. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from eating. Grown, small, I don't give a damn what size, what their statue is on the team. I'm gonna eat when I want to eat. I mean, what the hell? What is this? I'm a Jordan guy now.
Yes.
You ain't stopping me from eating. I don't give a damn who you are. I mean, me and Kobe butted heads a couple times in practice, but that's practice. He ain't trying to take it off the court.
Oh, Jimmy, did you hear the question you just asked them? TL, I want you to join me with this one. TL, Horace Grant, you're an NBA player too. How the hell this woman gonna even think about? Excuse me, I don't care what he told her. Her job is to serve you.
Right.
Her job is to serve you, not to serve Michael. Her job is to serve the team. So her little ass, excuse me, Lord, her little behind would have got in trouble. Because I would have said, come here, baby. Who pay your check? Definitely not that clown up there in the front. You better bring me my food. I'm going to come get it myself. I promise you that's what I would have told her.
Oh, I'm eating. I don't know what I would have said in the moment, but I can guarantee you I would have had a plate in my lap, buddy. Because ain't nobody going to stop me from eating, pimp. I don't care where you from. I know Jordan was, he was bigger than life. I get it.
Yeah.
And the world had never seen it. Biggest guy in the world. I hear that. I hear you. But I ain't going to be no fake tough guy on here or none of that. But I know damn well I'm going to eat.
So tell me this. Speaking of eating, you know the stories about MJ, and of course and tell me, did MJ really beat Jamal Crawford out of his brand new Benz?
Jamal Crawford vouched for it. He said it made him. He said it made him a better guy, a better player.
What happened? What happened to him?
Jamal Crawford said they was betting, money on shots, shot for shot, and Mike was tearing them a new one. So Crawford was out of cash.
It's the chop shop, T.I. You could say it. What was he tearing?
No, T.I.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm thinking, we still under the FCC airways.
We are, T.I.
I don't want to give it to him like that. Okay, we are. So I was trying to keep it clean, but yeah, man, Mike was he said he ran out of money, he ran out of cash. Mike told him put the Benz up. He put it up. He didn't have to. He put it up. And Mike, I guess he thought Mike was gonna let him off the hook. So after Mike beat him in the shooting game, he had to hand over them keys, man. But he said he was better for it. I mean, he wasn't salty about it. He said it made him a better player. I would, I'm not a gambler. I don't know what the heck to think about. I wouldn't have did it.
Jamal Crawford losing a Benz is like most people going and lose $100 somewhere.
That's understandable.
He gonna get another one.
Your car still got the tags on it. It has an added value. That means you wanted it. That means, because you can lose something that you already had, and like, man, I don't care about that old car. That means he had tags on that car. It was still fresh out the dealer lot, right?
It couldn't have been that much value because he put them keys up. It couldn't have hurt. You wouldn't have put them keys up, Jimmy, if it hold that much value.
Now, the reason he put the keys up, Haller, they tell me in the story, is that MJ put up something to counter it. And what was that, Tia?
What did he put up?
Ferrari up. He put his Ferrari up.
Oh, well, shoot. Jamal Crawford. So you lose, Jimmy.
Let Mike hustle.
I wouldn't mind losing a Benz trying to get a Ferrari. Wait a minute, 100,000 versus 250,000. I would have put. That's a good gamble. That's a good gamble.
That man had to catch the taxi home, man. You ain't no good
He
gamble.
ain't drop him off at home, man. Remember, wasn't no Uber back then. Get home, get it how you live. That's ruthless. Now, another story that I heard want to ask you about, and that is, tell us about this story. Michael Jordan goes to a party and comes face to face with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, man. I just got
story. What the hell happened?
I don't know. Man. But I mean, from what I'm hearing, man, Mike was blowing Robin Givens back out. And then he putting that
boomerang, baby, boomerang.
I'm just saying, you're putting that ham on. And then the trainer said Mike had a little bit too much to drink when they was at the same party. He ran up on Jordan. And nothing happened though, but he said he was he was ready to get behind Jordan, but I guess everybody intervened and stopped him or whatever. But yeah, if that happened, man, Mike got to lead the party. Jordan, yeah, he got to lead the party because Tyson is savage, bro, a maniac. Period. That's not. I mean, if you really want to get after you, who's gonna stop him? It's gonna take an army.
Wow. You got a good point. So now, of course, T.L. Brown. I mean, you go all day. You're of course, you played in the league. Which during those times at the turn of the millennium, when you were with the Rockets and the Lakers and Cleveland and New Orleans, which program? How would you rate the pro? Not the team, but talking about the front office. What was the difference? Because some of those teams have the same owners right now. Give us the atmosphere of the front office.
I wasn't in the front office. You know, a lot of guys that's hands-on with the front office. That's the big timers. I'm a small-time guy. I was, I'm the guy. I'm coming off the bench. But the guys that knows what's going on in the front office, that's the Kobe's, the Jordans, the Steve Francis, the Cuttino Mobleys, guys like that, Baron Davis. Guys like they know what's going on, behind the scenes. That's who they consulting. They don't. Like they don't give a damn about me. They consult with the big time guys.
But how did they treat you? How did different organizations treat you as a guy who was like you said, wasn't a household name? Which organization treated you the best?
I mean, Rudy T was always 100 with me.
Okay.
He always kept it real with me. So I was with Rudy in Houston and LA, but pretty much, I mean, all four organizations I was with, they grade A professional to the top. I mean, with me, I can't speak for everybody, but with me, grade A from a professional standpoint, no question about it. But I didn't really appreciate the way Toronto kind of handled me, but that's another story.
Foreign country, baby. Foreign country.
Yeah, don't get me started on that.
Now, of course, going back to The Last Dance, I'll know that you want to get your thoughts on a couple of episodes ago, the Scottie Pippen scenario. Of course, Pippen was back in the news this past weekend after people noticed his comments and how he doubled down. But before then, right, it was Pippen and his contract.
Right.
$18 million for 7 years at that time, locking himself in with no option. What's your opinion on that back then? But you want to say he tried to provide for his family.
Right. That's it.
Right?
He made that choice. He made that bed. He got to sleep in it. I mean, I know he earned. I know he was worth more. There's a lot of guys that's worth more. In the beginning of their contracts, they got to get it on the back end. But he signed that. That's between him and his agent. That they at fault. Nobody else at fault. And Reinsdorf said he encouraged him not to sign that long of a deal, and he still did it. So who else to blame? I don't want to hear nothing about Mike should have fought for him. Nah, that ain't on Jordan. Jordan was getting hoes to it. He was getting paid like some crazy low amount. Yeah. That's why he got his on the back end. But overall, Pippen got his on the back end. He ended up making more money than Mike from an NBA standpoint, from an NBA contract standpoint, not with endorsements, but I mean, in the end, it worked out for all of them. But at the time, you signed that. That's on you.
Now, go on, Hatter.
No, I was just what's so key about that is I mean, that's just the way things were done back then, right?
Right.
Because a few years later, when Tony Kukoc, when he signed his deal, he signed had an out clause in his contract where after 1 year, they have his bird rights and they can sign him to whatever. And he signed a new deal the next year. That's when the NBA came, Tier, and said, no, you got to be with a team for 3 years from now on to have full bird rights. So Tony Kukoc saw that, and he said, okay, I'm not going to get caught up in that situation. So it's just Anthony Favre just wanted to make a, he always try to put something on here. He talked about Magic signing a $25 million deal. The difference in Magic signing a $25 million, $1 million a year deal was Jerry Buss wouldn't mind negotiating and changing Michael's deal, Anthony Favre.
Right.
Jerry Reinsdorf is not that type of dude. And that's what I be wanting y'all to just look at. You're dealing with different owners. You got guys like Don Sterling. You know he wouldn't have did. Excuse me. Don Sterling wouldn't even pay his coaches. He told Bill Fitch, sue me. I got more money than you. Sue me.
Right.
So you got to understand it's different. The way different franchise, like that's what Jimmy was trying to get out of you. How different franchise treated you, because they do treat people different, and that's, I just wanted to make it perfectly clear that Scotty and Michael, those deals they signed, they were good then, but when you know better, you do better.
Right, and Scotty couldn't predict that the NBA was going to get these big ass TV deals.
Nobody knew it
was going to go up. He couldn't predict that.
Nobody knew it. Nobody.
That's why I said it ain't really nobody's fault. No. He did what he thought was best. I mean, he wasn't hurting. I mean, at the end of the day, he wasn't hurting at the time. That was a good amount of money. But I mean, it's pride and ego start getting involved when you got 3 or 4 other guys that's not good as you on the team making more than you, and they almost doubling you up. So I get that too. But
what about the time he wouldn't come off the bench? He didn't want to come in for the last play. I don't understand that one. And he doubled down on it last night.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I mean, I understand both sides. I mean, but if you're going to be pissed, go in the game and be pissed. Don't go at the end of the bench and sulk. That ain't helping. I mean, if we're a team sport, don't make it all about yourself. Not in that moment. That's why he ended up crying in the locker room when they got up.
Yeah, they got on him. Yeah.
He knew he was out of line for that, but I mean, lesson learned. I think they were a better team for it.
Oh yeah.
Everybody learned from him. But like I said, he was young at the time, man. Young. Yes. He was, he didn't have his own team before. Yeah. He was without Mike. If Mike there, that's not even. That never. No. Yeah. So, but he handled that wrong. My opinion. Just me.
What you got?
Yeah. And I mean now switching gears, we got a lot. This is, of course, guys, we just tuning in. This is T.L. Brown, as you see right there up on his name, up on this picture, and he's former NBA player, last in the league on 4 or 5 different teams, but retired right now. Played overseas for about a decade as well, and he's definitely one of the most animated and most enjoyable follows on social media. How can they follow you? What's your tag on Facebook or Twitter?
Well, Facebook, just my name, just my, T.L. Brown. I mean, you can find me the same on IG. You don't need my username. You can just type my first and last name, man, and it'll come up. And then that's it, bro. Just hit follow, friend. I'll accept it. I ain't no Hollywood.
I'll accept it.
H-Town, though, man. I ain't no Hollywood guy like that. I've been down to earth from day one.
Now, okay, we're going to go to a variety of topics, which we're just going to blast.
Let's run through the gamut.
I got one for you. Okay. Recently, you went on social media, and I want to read what basically you went at and had a response to Draymond Green, his comments saying he changed the game of basketball alongside Steph Curry. What's your thoughts on Draymond and those comments?
Look, man, I respect Draymond. He hard-nosed, blue-collar guy. He a champion. I respect him. But Draymond, it's something about Draymond just rubbed me the wrong way, man. I mean, to me, he a fake tough guy. I mean, he play hard. I mean, but he one of them guys that's tough sometimes. He not tough all. He he want to be Debo sometimes, and the other times he want to just, be a regular guy. Because when I saw Ron Artest approach him, he's all that tough guy, all that stuff sobered up real quick. Yeah, he sobered that up real quick. All that tough guy stuff went out the window. But back to the topic. Yeah, I don't know why Draymond is trying to act like he changed the game. Like you won championships together. I get that. But dog, you can barely score in the gym by yourself. You didn't change no game, and he keep going at Barkley. Dog, you can't hold Barkley jockstrap. I'm sorry, you can't do nothing with Barkley. You can't do the things he did. I don't care. You had an opportunity this year to have all the shots you want, all the touches, and improve your offense and show the world what you can do without Steph, without Clay. And what he did most of the year, fake injuries, because he wasn't hurt. He ain't do enough to be hurt. He out there flopping. He getting mad. He getting texts. He getting thrown out the game for what? This a great opportunity for you to work on your offense and improve your team. So guys can stop saying you're not an all-star without Steph Curry, without Klay Thompson, without KD. You're nobody, because they got a point. When they went away, Draymond went away too, and he was playing. So I don't know. I don't know what. I know he got his. Everybody.
Tell me this.
Everybody got the ego. I ain't mad at him, but
okay. So the conversation, Draymond versus Barkley, somebody gave it legs, and until the Last Dance, the episode that showed the Dream Team, then a lot of people got a chance to see some of Barkley in vintage Barkley. Then the conversation started to dissolve totally. I mean, how did the combo get the legs that heavy in the first place?
But that was between them two, because they kept responding to one another. So that's how it kept going. Like Barkley kept going back at him, he kept going back at Barkley, and they kept it going. So the media looking for sound bites. They looking for that because it's getting all the attention. And controversy gonna always sell. It's gonna always sell. But but for him, sometimes people need a reminder.
I got a question. Do any one of y'all know how it started? I don't even remember how it started. And matter of fact, when I saw the two subjects,
yeah,
Draymond versus Charles Barkley, I intentionally, Thierry, didn't even pay attention to it. When I saw them two, I said, this don't make sense. You got this guy and this. No, it just don't. See, that's where what happens in this new society, and people count rings, and it's how many rings you got, and Draymond, because he got them rings. Man, Charles Barkley, only thing that stopped Charles Barkley from a ring is that dude they doing a 10-part series about that they never did for nobody before. And guess what? It's a lot of people that Michael kept from being getting rings. I thought about something, Thierry. If he don't go and play baseball for 2 years, he might have won 8 in a row.
Maybe. That's a tough one. Maybe. That's a good chance. But yeah, I don't know what the hell Slave Face talking about. Draymond Slave Face. I don't know what he talking.
Slave Face. I ain't never heard that
one. He not on the same planet, bro.
Not on the same planet.
I know, but he got to defend himself. Barkley gonna say something. He got his own right to say, come back at Barkley, do what he got to do. But I mean, just from a basketball standpoint, Hall of Fame career, tick for tack. They not on the same planet. Period.
I want the Boom Boom Room to help me with this one too.
Yeah.
Thierry, you, the Boom Boom Room, YouTube. I want everybody, cause he said something. Draymond said something. He said something key. And I remember this because he said, Jim, he said, 2 of the greatest teams that were ever built were built on bad contracts. Scottie Pippen and Stephon Curry's contract. Remember? Stephon Curry had one of those deals. But
no, Rockets in there too.
What bad contract did Rockets have?
Wasn't Otis Stark, or that was after?
No. We talking about bad. No. We talking about bad contract for the player.
Okay.
You talking about somebody like an all-star getting underpaid or something?
Underpaid. A marquee player. A marquee player.
Yeah. Marquee player. Okay. But he said something. He tried to help himself out. And T.I., I know you finna get it. He said, Michael struggled without Scottie. and y'all talking about me? He said, they never lost.
Look, hey, Michael didn't struggle without anybody unless he talk about team concept. If
Yeah.
you looking from an individual standpoint,
Michael never struggled.
Michael ain't struggled in his Chicago days ever. He made the playoffs every year. Every year. I don't know why he putting himself in that sense. Man, come on, Draymond. Draymond, you a role player, man. You're great at what you do.
Right.
You're great at what you do. I mean, he got a mouth on him. That mouth ain't gonna stop, so it don't matter what I say. It's gonna keep going. It don't matter what Bart say. It's gonna keep going. That's him. That's just who he is. I ain't gonna try to change him. I respect him for who he is, but that don't mean I gotta agree with him.
Is Draymond a Hall of Famer?
In my eyes, no. But to me, it seemed like it's easy. Like it's a lot easier to get in the Hall of Fame these days because it's basketball Hall of Fame. A lot of people think it's NBA basketball Hall of Fame. It's not NBA Hall of Fame. It's basketball Hall of Fame. So it's what you've done
all your career.
Over. At first, I was kind of bothered by Yao Ming getting in, and only he only played 7-8 years. So I'm like, how is that? And a couple of them, he was banged up, hurt. But yeah, they had to explain to me back then, not NBA. I never paid attention to that, so I always thought it was based on NBA, nothing outside of that. But yeah, it's basketball the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Yeah, so I didn't know that, but I mean, Draymond got a lot of years left, man. So I think if they start winning again, he'd make a couple more All-Star teams. Build that resume. They win another championship. He probably can end up on there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Just put it like that.
And in Yao Ming's defense, it's got a lot to do with how he changed the culture in a whole country about baskelball.
That was part of
it. You follow me? And but it was so unique, Jimmy. I got one for you, both of y'all. So
okay,
this is what I want. I watch how Michael led them guys in his style, his psychotic style. So I have a question for you. So do you have to be that way to win? Do you have to be that way? Because Magic wasn't like that. Bird wasn't like that. Do you have to be the way maniacal and psychotic, the way Michael Jordan did? Do you have to be that way to win, in your opinion? And both of y'all can speak on this.
If you let me go everybody got to do it their own way.
Right.
Everybody on different teams. Certain guys that they need that kick in the pants sometimes. Certain guys that's already self-motivated. You ain't got to worry about them. And for a standpoint like Magic and Bird, Magic played with 2 other Hall of Famers. Bird played 3 other Hall of Famers. Mike had 1. And you got guys Mike was playing with guys we had never heard of. We can walk down. Most people can walk down the street right now and won't know who Judd Bushley is, Bill Winning. They won't know Luke Long. Yeah. Just walking down the street.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The average American would not know who those guys are. But I mean, certain guys, everybody got their own style. So I mean, if he winning 6 out of 6 championships off of that, I can't argue with him. It's working. But, I mean, everybody talking about. Go ahead, B. Go ahead, B.
No, but even Phil Jackson had to slow Mike down a little bit. He said, "Man, camaraderie is a form of leadership, also, Mike."
It is.
I know. Yeah. I know. You putting your feet on them, but sometimes you got to take your foot off their neck. And
absolutely.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just crazy. But somebody asked about what do you think about AAU basketball, youth sports, and what would you change?
Well, to me, it's different, bro. Because coming up when I was growing up, you actually had to be good to make AAU. Everybody couldn't play. You couldn't just pay your money, sign a couple forms, and be on the team. I wish it was that easy. Back then, you had to be pretty much, selected in the spotlight. They have to know you, or you have to go try out for a team. And that was it. But now, I mean, it's good for the kids now that they playing year round.
Yeah.
Better chance for them. Everybody deserves that shot. But, it's definitely not as strong as it used to be from that because they got everybody, able to play that now. So back then, man, they had AAU teams that was just full of NBA future NBA players. I mean, damn near the whole team. So it was crazy. And then, but that's when I knew. But at the time, that's when I knew Kobe was going to be great. Kobe and them, they was playing. It was Kobe and it was Rip Hamilton, and that's it. Surrounded by a bunch of white boys.
That's right.
And they was tearing everybody ass up, and I mean guys that had 3-4 McDonald's players on one team. NBA guys on one. Kobe and Rip was tearing them a new one, and it was crazy because that team didn't look like. It looked like they belonged on the same floor, but that was just a testament to his greatness. But yeah, man, AAU is cool. It's just not, to me, it's not what it used to be. But it's definitely bigger right now because it's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of people paying, and there's a lot of people watching. So I think AAU is gonna always be there. It's gonna always be great.
And of course, that team you're talking about with Kobe and Rip, that's that team out of New Jersey, that Patterson team. And
I think so.
Yeah. So now,
and just to help too, Kier, Rodman is a Hall of Famer. Rodman.
No question.
Yeah.
No. It's two. Okay.
It's two of them. Somebody just put it on the Facebook feed. I forgot about that. I forgot about Rodman. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good one. So what else you got, Jim?
And I also want to get your thoughts as well. Now, first of all, first question is, what grassroots team did you play with coming up?
Jim, if I would have ever played AAU, I'd have been at a big time school. I never played. I never had the opportunity, bro. I was in Iowa, Louisiana, little country town. I got looked over most of my life. I'm just used to that. And that was like my driving force. And, all the guys, most of the guys that was, getting selected to these AAU teams, I was like one of the only ones that ended up making it, to the NBA. I mean, to this day, I still don't know how it worked out, but it did. But, I just used that, being looked over. I never played AAU. And, I just used that as motivation, inspiration. And that just kept that drive going. And, yeah, but I mean, I tried my best too. I tried, at the time I'm on my phone, I'm looking up, we didn't have no internet at the time. I'm in the phone book, trying to look up guys' parents' names so I can call them, see if they got connections to help me out. Now I'm nobody.
So take us back there.
Calling like crazy.
You had McNeese.
Right.
And you started at McNeese in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And this was the McNeese before the casinos.
Oh, yeah.
In abundance emerging, Tillman Fertitta. Now, at that time, explain to us what was your break that landed you in the NBA? Because you went undrafted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you didn't get drafted.
Nope.
And tell the people how tall you are.
I'm 6'2".
Right? So 6'2". Did not get drafted. What was your break, you think, leading back then? What happened? What moment did you go to a workout and you did this and you did what, and that's what got you in? And who was that first program?
Well, listen, it's crazy. I hope somebody can be inspired by this. Jim, it's crazy. My biggest break was coming to hoop in Houston. That was coming to hoop in Houston. Going from Fondy to Westside Tennis Club, where the best played. And when I say the best, I mean in the country. They had that talent. Everybody wasn't in the NBA, but I swear to you, it was a good 70% of the guys in the NBA. The other 30 was overseas, and they could have probably been there. But the Rockets saw me. I got on with the pros in pickup ball in Westside Tennis Club, and they saw, and I'm working. I'm killing them. So, right. And this is not one day. This is consistent. Right. Yeah, I'm doing my thing. Just put it like that. Mm-hmm. And out of the blue, I'm in the gym. I'm in the gym by myself. I'm working out probably maybe 8, 9 a night. I'm lifting weights. I'm shooting. Rudy T came down and talked to me himself.
Really?
In Westside Tennis Club. asked me what I had going on. I said, I have nothing. I said, right now I'm just working hard. I said, maybe the D League. If not, I'll try to go overseas. And he was like, and right there on the spot, he told me, we have a camp spot open. Would you like to do that? Or would you feel that's wasting your time? I said, wasting my time. I said, when we start. So, long story short, I go in to sign the contract. Him, Dennis Lindsey, they all in, like pretty much the whole staff is in there. Keith Jones, all of them. And they said, before you sign this contract, we want to make sure you know it's a 99.99% chance you're not making the team. I said, I don't care. Just give me the contract. I have nothing else. I ain't got nothing else going on. So just sign it. They was like, cool, it'll be some good exposure for you, good experience, so you know where you stand. So, we go to training camp in Austin, do my thing. I was playing well in practice after I got adjusted, and still wasn't getting in the preseason games. So it was about 4 went by. I didn't even touch the floor. I mean, I wasn't mad. I was just happy to be there. I was happy to be around the guys still practicing. I didn't have no ego at it at all. I was just fired up. So finally they put me in against the Orlando Magic in Orlando. And I just did my thing, bro. I did my thing in that one game, and that changed everything. So I was
that one game. What you do? What you remember about that one game?
I was just playing. I just remember I was at first I was nervous when I got in. Everything.
I remember that.
Everything just felt like normal. At first I was nervous, and once I got that ball in my hand, everything just felt normal. It just felt natural. And then because Rudy, like, if you can go, Rudy gonna let you go. Like, he's not gonna put a long leash on you unless Kobe on the floor, Steve Francis. He wanted them with the ball, of course. But in that situation, he was just letting me go to see what I can do. And I was doing a little bit of everything. Scoring, passing, rebounding, getting it to the right guys, and ended up having a good game. So, off that one preseason game, we had practice. Bam, everybody's gone. I leave practice, come back that night, work out some more. And I'm in the weight room. And then Rudy come down there again. He's like, that conversation we had before you signed? I remember it like yesterday. He's like, all that has changed now. Wow. He was like, congratulations, you're a Houston Rocket. You're officially on the team. I couldn't feel nothing. I went numb. I couldn't. People ask me how I feel. I can't explain it. My whole body shut down, bro. I was just in the moment. I couldn't.
So snot was coming out your nose. You crying like a baby right there.
I wasn't crying, but I was.
Man,
what? Listen, bro. I couldn't react. I just put it like that. I couldn't react. I was in shock that much because I had no idea that was coming.
So tell me something. How do you got
something? I'm gonna tell you what's so unique about that story. Great story. Great.
Yeah, because I want to ask something about that story.
Okay, go on.
Okay, you mentioned that Rudy T, he came and caught you at Westside Tennis Club. And for guys they're not aware, back then the Summit, that's what the name of what is known as Lakewood Church now, and that was in the process of transcending over to the Toyota Center. And the Rockets would practice at Westside Tennis Club, owned by Mattress Mac and him and his wife, and that's where the workouts would be. That's where a lot of guys would go, and the NBA guys, and they were playing the funny. So that made the pro-am. That was one of the last heydays of the heyday eras of the pro-am down at the Fundy Recreation Center. It still takes place, but that time was it. Now my question is, you mentioned Rudy got you and asked you about signing. ATL.
Go ahead.
You're taking us to the restroom with you. Now, we ain't going to the restroom with you, bro.
Nah, I thought y'all heard that dog barking, so I was getting out.
No, we didn't hear it.
I just want to make sure we ain't going to the restroom with you. We ain't going to go to the restroom with you. Yeah, we ain't the type of
man, I don't want you to be scared of the big old. Hey, I don't want to put that big old Belusa on there for the women,
man. Hey, Jimmy, I'm gonna tell you something what's unique about this situation. I was gonna tell you is Chris Childs had a similar experience. Chris Childs at Fundy He was down here with the John Lucas program, was in John Lucas program, in Fundy, killing everybody in there. And that's how the New York Nets discovered him. So Tierra says something very key about, he said, man, if it wasn't Houston, if I didn't make that trek to come to Houston, that situation would have never happened like that. And Mark came on. Mark Ivor said, kids need to listen to that. I said, no, they don't need to listen to that. Because guess what? Most kids, that's not going to happen for you, baby. And I love you, and I know that. But that young man that's on this screen right here, he knows how hard it is.
That's a long.
And not just to get there. See, you know what an NBA, TL, you got to hear this. I'm talking to an NBA GM the other day.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what they have to guard against when they talking to players and evaluation players and free agents? They told me, Robert, you got to make sure when these dudes get their big contract, they don't lay down on you. It's some guys in the NBA right now that they know when these guys get their fat contract, they gonna lay down.
Oh, man.
They got a guy that we know. I don't want to call his name on the air, but I'm just going to. They said if this dude was to get a contract, Robert Hatter, he could never play for the Rockets. He said, because if we know if he mess around and get another deal, he's done with basketball. And the reason I take that to heart, big old Jerome James. I don't know if y'all remember him.
Oh, man. Seattle, man.
He told me, because I was out there with Rashard now. We sitting there over Rashard's house, somebody's house out there. He said, man, they mess around and give me that money. I'm going to blow up to 400 pounds and ain't going to never play again. T.R. Brown, he did that.
Listen, everybody not in this game for the love, bro. It's some people that's money driven 1,000%. You know, there's other guys, you know, of course the money's gonna always be motivation.
It's great money.
Some players, that's all they worried about, period. They don't care about after they sign that guaranteed contract, like they're gonna do what the hell they want, pretty much.
Yes.
I mean, they not in it for legacy. They not in it for, they don't care about what's going on with barbershop talk or what we doing right now. They don't care. They just care about them dollars coming in. And I've been seeing that a long time. That's not just NBA. That's NFL. That's why NFL kind of took those contracts away like that and started giving partial guarantees instead of full guarantees because guys was like getting hurt. Certain guys was getting their money and just chilling. So they took it like, I think they should be. That's another story. I think they should be fully guaranteed because they take all that punishment. But
yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, man, there's nothing you can do. If you're going to fully guarantee contracts, you kind of, you know, as long as you playing ball, you taking care of your business, you're not getting in trouble, you following the guidelines, like there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
Now, T.L., when you were signing those contracts with Rudy T, when he pulled you to the side, you mentioned you just went and said, well, I signed it. Was it you and your agent?
Man, that first contract I got, it could have been a blank piece of damn paper. I would have signed that bitch. They could have filled it in after.
He didn't need no
agent. And I would have still signed it. Hey, but that I was with Haddon them, man. I was with PSP. Think they said
that's right. Yeah.
I was with Carl Poston, and they sent him the contract first.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You know,
okay. I just wanted to make sure that I got it right. That was my question a while ago.
Man, I didn't get. I would have signed that thing with Garland. He said it was pretty standard.
He told me it was a standard deal. I mean, and guess what? Think about it, y'all. Jimmy, I'm sitting up here thinking about guys like Tierre. Those things don't happen that much. But guess what? It caught lightning in a bottle with the Rockets. This little guy, Chris Clemens, he didn't get he led the league, the whole AA in scoring, and he didn't get a sniff. And so lightning does strike, but when you are a guy that's a certain, all you got to do is look at the draft. Look at last year's draft and just look at the height of the players. T.R. Brown is 1 in a zillion. Chris Clemens is 1 in a zillion. So, and that's what I don't want kids to understand. Understand it's all right to have a dream of going to the NBA, but if you don't, baby, what we gonna do if you don't?
Right. You always need that plan. And another thing, nothing wrong with going. I got kind of caught up in that, like nothing, because I got a taste of that NBA first.
Yeah.
So I was I didn't want to go overseas and do that after I'd been to the NBA. I was kind of frowning upon that. But man, look, listen, I turned down so much money in Europe, chasing that NBA dream. So
really,
so much, and that's money, you can never get back. Period. You turn it down, you can't get it back. Like all them years. But if you got an opportunity to play outside the NBA, go get that money, man. If you love to play basketball, go get that money. Like the location should, if the good, if that's your dream, that's your aspiration, go get that money. If it ain't that good at first play, if you play well, it's gonna always increase. That's all I can tell you. It's gonna always increase. So go get it.
Now, one of the viewers have a question for you in the Boom Boom Room. You guys, if you have any questions for T.R. Brown, feel free to post them on there. You're talking with a retired NBA player who went undrafted, yet lasted, what was it, 4 or 5 years in the league, T.R.?
4.
4 years in the league. Now, Rudy T is credited, of course, he gave you your first break. Rudy T leaves the Rockets, go to the Lakers. Is Rudy T the reason how you ended up with the Lakers?
Yep, 1,000%. Because I was ready to go to camp with New Jersey Nets. I was already in New Jersey, and he ended up getting my number and calling me personally, and he was like, "There's an opening." And at the time, the Nets, they didn't really have. I wasn't under no guaranteed contract. They had Travis Best under a partial for the last PG spot, so he was gonna make that team, and he did. But Rudy T called me. I'm talking about I'm just getting off the practice floor with New Jersey, and he was like, "There's an opportunity here in LA, and we got the backup. We got the backup role available, and we probably only gonna." He was like, "Probably is only gonna keep 2." So I told New Jersey that I wanted out, and I wanted to go to LA, and they let me, and because we talked about the Travis Best thing, and they let me out. And then Rudy T gave me a shot. It wasn't a guaranteed contract. I had to go there, play well, preseason, practice well, do all that, and I had to impress Dr. Buss and all of them, and I did that, and ended up making the team. And the contract still wasn't fully guaranteed until mid-January. So that was a blessing.
I got another question, Jimmy. You got one? Brandon Morris, Brandon all the way up in Kenosha, Wisconsin. He said, hold up, coming. He was just talking about which are some of your best guards you done played against. Which, when you were at the West Side, when you were playing in those workouts at West Side, which players were good mentors for you and gave you NBA advice? Which one of the players that took you up under their wing at West Side?
Well, man, it was so many, and I'm talking about that's Fondy and West Side. They was the same guards, so it was stacked because at the time, guys wasn't big as they were now, so you had a lot of NBA guys coming to Houston for that cheap real estate. Right. There was a lot of guys here, and they was all playing, but point guards.
Right.
Biggest one to me was Nick Van Exel, and to me,
yes.
Look, I played a lot of guys. Nick was always cool as hell, but if he won, Nick could have been in the Hall of Fame right now because he's by far the most skilled point guard I've ever played against, and just no weaknesses. Right. Offensively, none. Can shoot faded away from the timeline with ease, and it was just stupid, just crazy. But just to give you a quick list of point guards I was playing against. Nick Van Exel,
right?
Moochie Norris, Sam Cassell, Anthony Gold, Damon, Steve Francis. We had at the time the street baller Dwayne Rogers. He was a handful. He wasn't in the NBA. Houston, no. Houston, no. Catino Mobley. he was a monster. And there's so many guys I'm leaving out. Mike James.
Yeah.
It's crazy, just a crazy amount of talent, man. And what people don't know, man, there was a lot of street ballers and a lot of other guys, that wasn't in the NBA, but man, they in Houston, from Houston, that could have been there. I mean, Houston know, but the rest of the world don't know. And it was just dripping with talent, just crazy and very hard to get on. It was days I came to the gym, I couldn't play. It was like it was all pros, and I'm still in college. Yeah, it was just tough. But over the years, it was just man, a lot of good point guards out here. A lot of good ones.
What about Catino? Catino was in that too.
He said him. He mentioned him.
Oh,
he mentioned
him. Okay.
Yeah. Now,
one of the hardest to guard ever. Period.
Hey, now I got something that somebody just sent me, and it is going back to the Last Dance. Two things.
All right.
One is Nike, when Michael Jordan, of course, signed his deal with Nike, they had a clause in there where Nike could have gotten out of the deal had Mike did a couple of things or not met a couple of plateaus on the court. And one were, of course, if he did not win Rookie of the Year, if he didn't make the All-Star game, if he did not average 20 points a game, and if he did not sell over $4 million in shoes by his third year. What's your thoughts on that?
That's self-explanatory, because he took care of all that, man. I mean, that was just at a time Nike just wasn't big yet. They wasn't known for making basketball shoes. They were making running shoes. That's why you heard Jordan talking about he wanted to sign with Adidas. Adidas had hoop shoes then. Nike didn't really. It was Adidas, Converse. Those are the two main guns then. But yeah, I mean, without Mike, man, who the hell knows what Nike would be right now? I don't know. Because Jordan changed everything for them. I mean, he get the credit for it, but he changed everything for them.
Also, Jimmy, I thought you was going to go here. Jordan was the only player had a love of the game clause in his contract with his NBA team. If he can play basketball any way he wants to. If he get hurt, his contract was guaranteed. It's called a love of the game clause. Look that up. He had that in his deal with Jerry Reinsdorf. So he can come and play with us over there in the hood. And if he get hurt, they still got to pay him. He's the only player that ever put that in his contract.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, Gilbert Arenas must have had it too, because he banged up his knee playing on the playground, and they still signed him for $100 million.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, he was never. But I wanted to tell y'all that story about
what
about that. That dude he used to be real childish as hell, man. But y'all brought up the car thing with Jamal Crawford, him and Mike. And I was like, man, that ain't bad as hell. Gilbert Arenas, and this was told to me from another NBA player.
Okay.
Gilbert Arenas was in LA and wrecked his Ferrari. And he got out the car and gave the Ferrari to the people that hit him, and walked and got a taxi home, went buy another one.
Yeah.
What the hell wrong with him? I don't care how much money you make.
Me either. Michael Jordan wouldn't have did that.
Nobody giving a Ferrari away to a stranger, bro. This dude is, crazy, bro.
Wow. Now I got a question. What's your thoughts on this? Right.
Go ahead.
And there's a rumor out there. The grapevine tells me that you said your words, 200%, not 100%. I'm sorry, you said 2,000%. No, not 100%, not 200%. Hell, that's double the 100% times 10.
Okay,
2,000% that the reason that Isaiah Thomas was not included on the Dream Team.
It was just, it's too much, man. It was too much coming from people with, up in those high plays. But that was. Come on,
hold on. This ain't Gregory Hines on here, is it?
Yeah, he tap dancing. He tap dancing right.
You started.
He tap dancing right. Come on, T.A.
I don't remember saying nothing about no 200%, but I know damn well it was from Magic and Michael that didn't want to play with him. I know that. Like that's like they even caught it on The Last Dance. When Mike was talking to Rob Thorne and he was asking him, he didn't say his name, but it's like such and such isn't playing on the team, right? Because that's the only way I'm gonna play.
Yes,
I know that about Isaiah. He wasn't talking about nobody else but Zeke.
Hold up.
Y'all can pretend all you want now. I don't care.
Hold up.
My knee.
You know what I like when he got to Barcelona? They sit down. He said, "Look here, no Isaiah Thomas question. No Isaiah Thomas question."
They still hate each other to this day. Bro.
They do. But hold on, though. Jimmy, I learned some. Jimmy, we got some local flavor. Mike, just to show you, he'll do it to a star and to a journeyman. Do you remember Lance Blanks was on that Detroit team? Who walked off Lance Blank, played at Texas.
Yeah.
He was on that Detroit team
Yeah.
that walked off the floor. John Sally stayed on it, and John Sally and Joe Dumars stayed on and shook their hands. But Lance Blanks walked off with Isaiah and them, right? So in the summer, Mike and Lance used to always come to North Carolina and play in Fred Whitfield's basketball summer league, right? Okay. Mike said, "Man, don't come speak to me. You walked off the floor with them guys, and they were cool." But Mike said, "No, I'm done with you, dude. You walked off the floor with them clowns." And hold on. And then Charles Barkley was his dude. Charles Barkley know where a lot of bodies are buried with Michael. Yeah, Michael don't speak to him no more because he talked about that terrible ass team down there. I hope he don't see this. He ain't gonna like me no more. But the way his team was ran. I'm gonna edit that out. The way his team was ran down there, and Charles Barkley got on him about it. He don't speak to his dude no more.
Yeah, man, that's a different cat, bro. Michael, cat, man. I don't have no problem. Like, a lot of these people that got problems talking about their favorite player. Like it's something wrong with that. Like your favorite player up too. But I don't care if it's LeBron, Mike, Kobe, or your favorite player mess up too. But yeah, man. I mean, Mike a different cat, man. But I mean, he got a point. I see it from both ways. Barkley got a job to do. Tell the truth, speak his opinion. Mike wanted a phone call first. Mike wanted a phone call instead of just taking that shot to the back without knowing it was coming. So, and that's where the fallout came. But hey, I mean, everybody different.
What she just said, that you just made me think of something in that movie. You remember when what's the little guard, Randy Brown, asked Michael for a ticket in the. He came to Mike. Y'all check this out now, Jimmy. You got to listen to this.
I already know where you're going.
They said Michael.
He went to U of H.
Yeah, they said Michael, right? Michael was the only one could just have extra tickets. So the other players that they need. So Michael told the dude, he asked Randy Brown, "Hey, man, do you just want to get in the building or you just want to sit where, something like that?" And then somebody says something about it's an act of God to be able to get this ticket. And Michael told Randy Brown, "God did give you this ticket. In other words, I'm God."
Yeah, it was crazy. He was joking. He said he was joking, but yeah, I caught that. That was crazy.
That man said he was God, man.
and how it wasn't them tickets. It was one ticket.
Yeah, one ticket.
Yep.
And that's, I mean, amazing. Now I want to ask you another question, of course, from the Boom Boom Room, and that is, somebody asked real quick, what was the moment that you knew you could make it or belonged in the NBA?
I do recreational. I was go there every morning, play with the average Joes, and they still had some talented guys off the street, and they had other guys that was playing overseas. But long story short, one day, and I'm over there. I'm still at McNeese State. I'm over there. I come home I come to Houston every summer, and I'm over there. I'm killing. I'm killing guys. And then the pros come on after us. So one day, guy named Willie Bird, I think he played at U of H too.
Yeah.
Willie got me on there. Willie got me on a team one day, and I showed out. And I mean, that first day he got me on there, I did my thing against a lot of good guards. And I mean, it was 4 teams, and I mean, bro, it was like 95% pros, bro. 95%. 95%. And like he got me on there, and it was the same guys, the Nick Van Exels, the Damon Jones, the Stoudemire's, the Moochies, the Van Exels, the Goldwires, the Cassels. And I mean, bro, it was just stout, just real stout. And once I held my own and did my thing against them guys, I knew, like right there, I knew, even though I know they not going 1,000%, like I know that, but they still playing at a good pace. And that was a good measuring stick for me. So after I held my own with them guys and kept getting picked back up, because I was the only college guy playing. It wasn't nobody else in college. I don't care where they went to school at. I was the only guy from college that was playing at Fondant at that time. And you can ask Herb Baker, Trey Moe, Andre Branch, all them guys was there playing, and they was cooking too. They were cooking too. I mean, it's like at the time, Houston was just a hotbed for ball, man, because everybody loved to play, and they was doing it, wherever we could, from Fondy to Waltrip, Lutheran North, to going to, everybody couldn't get in Westside Tennis Club, so that one was more just, pro, because they was recognizing that, but it was just a hotbed, man, and I don't think it'll ever be the same. Yeah,
I don't think it will either, because the stakes are higher. Too much money is at stake, and a lot of guys don't want to.
Remember, come on now. When Nike was, I'll just go based off Pro-Am. You remember how damn near every Pro-Am team had an NBA player or two.
Every last one.
It was deep. It was crazy, and that's how the pickup was. Mm-hmm. And the pickup was even more.
Yeah.
And it would never be like that, because you can go to Fondy right now and get a pickup game.
Right.
I don't know if you'll see one NBA player in there. And there's guys that can play still, but I don't think you'll see one NBA guy in there. And I'm talking about it's different. It'll never be like that again.
But is the reason? Think about this. You just said something. Jimmy, the reason Jimmy's saying it's too much money. No, because they playing out in LA, they playing in New York. Melo and them playing up in New York at that thing. All of them guys playing. So it ain't about the money.
Yeah, it may have a little bit to do with it, because them guys, they making so much more money than before. They can live in those places now. Like I think now, back then, they wouldn't get that money.
Okay.
And but real estate in LA and New York was still
That's a good point.
ridiculous.
That's a good point.
But the real estate in Houston or Texas, pretty much anywhere in Texas, compared to other places, it's dirt.
That's a good point.
It's dirt.
Coach
That's why
I'm sorry.
NBA players.
Because when I go to Rico Hines runs in the summer, I mean every pro. Hold up. Hey, Jim, let me tell you something. If you ain't no pro, and UCLA, listen to me. They got a court that you play on over there, and you got to hold up. I sit there and watch Russell Westbrook versus Chris Paul, and Chris Paul kept losing, right? Russell and them were tearing it behind up, right? Get what they kept saying? Run it back. So everybody was waiting. Run it back. And then Chris Paul said, yeah, I know I'm losing, but why break up all of these pros and let these guys play on the next court? He said, no, we're going to run it back until some more pros come.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Wow.
That is.
Wow.
So he tried to take next up.
Oh, man.
Ain't no next up. They said run it back, Jimmy.
Yeah, when the pros was running the pickup out here in Houston, there wasn't no next up. You getting 3 or 4 set teams, and that's your team for the day. Ain't nobody else walking playing, and unless they got their on something. Ain't nobody else just walking in and playing after those teams are set. Like if you're not on one of those teams, you're done. Like Fonda used to be so deep. I used to see pros sitting on the sideline that couldn't touch the floor. Yeah. That's how deep it was. Yeah. They were pros on the sideline, they couldn't touch the floor. And it was just crazy like that. It was that deep.
And I'm gonna give another ingredient to the funding for whereas I think and understand it had nothing to do with money right here. Because I think it's a combination of both things that you just mentioned.
Okay.
A little bit of the economic about the guys and what you just making tell about the geographical stuff. But at the funding, the street cred that guys like Frank Seals and Major Jones and all those guys had, it was like it was those guys were magnets to a lot of the other people that came through and been able to, because outside in the parking lot, it was a routine. Some guys would be out there behind the car with the trunk popped up with a cooler in there, even though that's that's how that was a routine. A lot of guys didn't even drink. You didn't even drink. You still went back and paid your homage to the guys that were standing there behind with the cooler, with the trunk popped up.
Vernon Maxwell started that, but keep going.
You think about it, in different guys at the time, there was none of those guys, and guys like Frank Seals, Major Jones, guys have passed on. So the torch, the only guy that was remaining from those back in the days that was still, and James Clayton he came from New York. He had that East Coast draw with his verbiage. Yeah. So he was running the Fundy at the time, retired. Steve, you think about it. Nobody replaced that. Yeah. And then of course the economics, because Nike came and sponsored it for a few years afterwards, but this Park and Recreation actually sponsored the original program because they had them in different cities. They had one in New York. They had one, the Pro-Am. That's actually what it was called. And until years later, people still call it right now the Pro-Am, but it's not called the Pro-Am anymore. It's called a No Excuses Pro-Am, I think, with Casey Williams. But psychologically, you still kind of like AAU basketball. You call it AAU, but everything isn't AAU. But we have one more question for you from the viewers, TL. That is, have you ever played in the Tournament of Champions in Lake Charles? Did your team ever win?
No, lost. I used to play all the time, but we lost in the championship one year.
Who was on your team?
That felt like a real damn game. It hurt so bad, but
that
was all former players from
Magnies.
From Mac. We always got back together, for the summer and played in that Tournament of Stars.
That's good.
But yeah, we always did well. I mean, it was always fun, but yeah, we never won that big one, bro. Had it in our hands and lost on a buzzer beater. Crazy.
Who did y'all lose to Penny them? Did y'all ever lose to Penny?
Yeah, we lost to them before. But we told them a new one too, though. But Memphis was Memphis was always tough, man. They was always tough because they played it. They was like us. They was like the same guys played together all the time.
Yeah, so they did.
Penny, Todd Day, and all them boys. Yeah. They used to be nice.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, man, TL, man, we definitely appreciate it, man. We're running out of time. We're at the end of the lap of the trail for today on this Monday, man. And once again, the Chop Shop is always great to have you in. But I have one question that sits in my phone, and the person has asked me 3 times, "Are you gonna ask him?" I've got to ask you this one thing before we go. And that is, you posted on social media. You said that LeBron James, I'm going to quote it. Besides LeBron James, was any high school player ever hyped more than Felipe Lopez? That's your question?
Question.
You think nobody was hyped more than Felipe Lopez?
In my time? I don't remember.
Oh, you said in your time. Okay.
I'm younger than y'all.
Because I know Zion, there was nobody hyped more than Zion.
Oh, I don't know that.
Since LeBron James.
I don't know, Jim. This guy, I'm telling you, and this was before, like, Zion had the help of social network.
Yes, that's why.
He had the help. But this guy, Felipe Lopez, was getting it without that. He stayed on the news, ESPN.
St. John's. Went to St. John's.
But he was terrible.
Covers him at the end of the day. Yes, he was. They calling that man a Dominican Michael Jordan. Man, please. That man couldn't scratch Jordan ankles, man. Are you kidding me?
Hey, boy.
Man, are you kidding me, man?
That Michael Jordan thing ain't good because they talked to Harold Miner just and got away and he don't even want nobody to know where he is no more. Jimmy. They were talking about him the other day. The baby Jordan, he don't even play basketball. He don't do nothing no more. Have anything to do with basketball again, ever.
I ain't heard that name in a long time.
But that's it, man.
That's it, man. Appreciate it, man. Thanks so much. And tell them how they can follow you on social media again, TL.
TL Brown. Just type the name in. First and last name on any platform. It'll come up. And I'll accept you, man.
You got it like that, huh? You got
nah,
it like that.
You know I ain't Hollywood.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you, man. I'm messing with you.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, appreciate that, man. Thanks so much, man. Guys, that is TL Brown. We definitely appreciate it, man. The Chop Shop, as you guys can see, look at that clock. We are definitely in overtime period right now. We thank so much for those who are on the Facebook platform. Make sure you share the show to your timelines or with your friends.
And
let people know. Don't be selfish about the Chop Shop. Also, on the YouTube page, make sure you give us a thumbs up before you get up out of there, and make sure, let people know that we exist. We got a big surprise for you guys on tomorrow and an even bigger surprise on Wednesday. Stay tuned. We'll be posting it and let the flyer this evening on our social media platforms, letting you guys know about the special guest that we have on tap.
And Jimmy, one more thing now. If you're on Facebook and have not subscribed to us on YouTube, go over and do that soon as you can. Soon as you have time, go over from Facebook, because I see we got some new Facebook friends. Let's go over to YouTube and become subscribe to our YouTube thing. Now, what else you got, Jim?
And that's pretty much it. Last news and football news around the area. The number one rated player in the country on ESPN, Zach Evans, the star football player at North Shore High School, has reportedly signed a grant and aid papers with TCU. That came out of nowhere. Nobody saw that coming at all from this young man who had a finals 5 of Georgia, Alabama, LSU. I can't think of the other two, but this TCU was definitely not one of those schools. And we'll talk more about that on tomorrow about this young man.
T.I. got something to say about this. What you got to say, T? You shaking your head?
I ain't got nothing to say, man. But y'all know TCU came. Y'all know TCU came with that big ass bag, man. That's how he got that. A bag bigger than your damn back. That's why.
Everybody got that.
Everybody got bags now.
Right.
Georgia got a bag. LSU got a bag. Alabama got a bag.
How do you, Jimmy? How do you choose the bag?
They got bigger bags for bigger players, for certain players that fit their system. But I hear you, though.
Okay.
You ain't lying about that, because nobody got a bigger bag than UT, and they can't get nobody. So I don't know what's going on.
Uh-oh. Hold up. Hold up. Wait.
Y'all ain't about to drag me into this.
Hold on. That's football, you mean? Not UT basketball. The football.
Nah, that's football.
Football.
Yeah, that surprised me too, though. That's crazy. That's just
Speaking
crazy.
in the bag, what you got in that red? What you got in that red cup right there?
Oh, that's lemon water, man. I don't drink nothing. I'm square, man.
I like that.
Making sure, man. Thanks a bunch. TL Brown, guys. Appreciate everything, man. We'll be talking with you, man, soon. Great job on the Chop Shop today, guys.
Job,
you guys, time to slide down Dino's back and y'all do this thing. See you in 2 hours. Peace. Chop Shop.
Later, fellas.
All right.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter, you are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro, let's get it. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop. Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter, you are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro, let's get it. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the...
You did what? Who? Sister Sandra? Okay, I couldn't hear you. Oh, man. Oh, no. All right, I'm gonna check into it. Yeah, I went by the grave yesterday. I had fun, man. They told me don't put no flowers because the flowers been flying away because the wind was blowing. Unless I go and get some and have it stuck in and because it's some people next to like I think Miss Branch, some branch person next to her. Then there's a younger lady who died right next to her, and it would yeah. So yeah, but it was cool, man. Yeah. What you doing? That's all right. I went over there. Girl, it felt kind of fun, man. I went over there because I think about the last time you and I went, it's me and you. You know what I'm saying? I, yeah. And I still got the picture. When you and I went over there. So, but yeah, it's all good. I'm gonna hit you back in a minute, okay? I'll hit you right back. All right. Okay. What happened? Man, everybody come. Y'all leave me alone. I know I'm